Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Mike's Railfan Studios, and we are back again for another announcement video, which we do yearly here on the channel. And really got nothing else to say other than saying that the channel has reached 4 years old on YouTube now as an active source of railfanning. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Mike's Railfan Studios, and today we return with another announcement video, and it's actually going to be formatted a bit different than how most announcement videos have been so far throughout the past couple of years, because most announcement videos, from the way how I recall them from previous ones, especially the 2024 one and the 2023 one respectively, you could probably say the 2022 one especially, that every announcement appears to me to be kind of the same, talking about exactly the trains that I've caught in a certain month, as well as talking about the plans, or maybe also the overviews of a certain year, and explaining the plans, if anything, of the new year, of course. And I feel like maybe now we should change that format up by just explaining about a little overview of the channel in 2025, and then we'll start talking about some plans I have for the channel in 2026, which will bring us to our second topic as we go through the video. So that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right on into it. Let's start off with the overview of 2025 to kick this announcement off. So I want to begin this section of the video by talking about 2025 in terms of content has not been a whole lot diverse compared to the other few years like 2023 and 2024 were. And in terms of content, for certain months, there hasn't been a whole lot that has happened. By starting with January and February of 2025, and that goes without saying that they've started off with not a whole lot going on for them. Like, for example, January starts off with only one video, which is just the introduction to 2025. And then February was just this Fredericktown Mall video that I made, of course. And those months, for the rest of them, didn't really have a whole lot going on. I did not start railfanning until March of 2025, and then all of it started to pick up following that. So yeah, I caught myself, so I'm going to try to be as brief as I can with the train stuff. So yeah, let's get right on into it. So let's start things off with March, which had only 2 trains, and I combined both of them into a 2-parter video with the 200th video that I published onto the channel, which was a big milestone that I wasn't expecting to get by around 2025 and more to 2024, but even so, the milestone was still worthwhile. So next up, in April, there really wasn't any railfanning except going to the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad Museum, and I basically winged most of the engine histories except for the Chesapeake and Ohio H8 Allegheny that I actually managed to get right, while the other ones I ended up doing incorrectly. And at some point, maybe later on next year, I should go back and maybe redeem myself, but not anytime soon, though. Next up in May, there would be 3 trains that all had really unique locomotives. Like, for example, the ethanol train B773 had 3118 on it, which is the flagship locomotive of the channel. M412 to have the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad Heritage Unit that got recently cleaned up at Cumberland, Maryland. And then the Spirit of Our Armed Forces Heritage Unit, number 1776, leading a standard CSX coal train in Sykesville. June, meanwhile, lacked railfanning because there was likely maintenance going on the Old Main Line subdivision. But I did get the call of one, though, which was a CSX westbound coal that I didn't even try catching because I know I wouldn't even get it. But I did go to a monster truck event before that weekend, respectively, and it was the first time in like 7 to 8 years, I'm sure, that I've actually been to one, because the most recent one I've been to was the 2018 Monster Jam Hagerstown event, which I really hoped that Monster Jam would go back to do events like these, but they don't really do that anymore. Probably because for attention's sake, but other than that, though, that's all I got to say about June, really. In terms of Railfanning, not a whole lot happened. July, meanwhile, had 4 trains associated with it. A CSX mixed freight train, then a coal train, and then a mixed freight train to a coal train again. And one of the places I've been to was actually a new place, the Mount Airy Tunnel, which I would end up coming back to in December later on, because the visibility was not as good in the summer compared to the winter. August, meanwhile, had 2 CSX coal trains, and the last one that I filmed at Old Mill Bottom stalled in front of me, and the train stood there for 3 hours until helpers from Brunswick finally came around to help the stalled coal train make its way to Curtis Bay Yard in Baltimore, Maryland. September saw the reopening of the Howard Street Tunnel in Baltimore, Maryland, which continued big rail traffic to maintain double-stack container services, and M372 eventually returns after it being sent on Norfolk Southern divisions or other CSX subdivisions like the Hagerstown and Hanover subdivisions, which was what I found out in Boiling Springs when I was there for about a few hours before I went up to the old main line to catch some trains the following week or so to catch 6. And I eventually met up with Ryan, aka the Train Seekers, alongside with Dave Most with the second train, CSX Coal at Old Mill Bottom, with the Seaboard System Heritage Unit. October would bring Railfanning to a new level this year as I went to the Brunswick Railroad Days to film some trains and the train ride that I went on, and met up with some old and new faces for my return to the Brunswick Railroad Days since 2023, and I eventually caught myself a few trains on the old main line, one of which was on Halloween night, and then the rest of the trains that followed up on that weekend were all on November, like a CSX mixed freight train heading up to Baltimore from Daniels, from where I filmed it, and then another mixed freight train going through Woodbine, and then a few more, I'm sure, going up through Woodbine, I'm sure, one of which was at Watersville, and then another at Woodbine again, with the Georgia Railroad Heritage Unit on CSX C733. And last but not least, we have is December, which had, again, a total of 6 trains. At least 6 for a total weekend, but an additional one from when I was at a family occasion and wasn't really expecting one. But the trains that I've caught, by the way, was a CSX loaded coal train. Most of the other ones were mixed freight trains, and one was an ethanol. And then I caught a coal train by the time when I was about to head back on Sunday. And the first train that I've caught had the L&N Heritage Units, and I never thought that December will start things off with a bang when it came to certain locomotives on a certain train, like C785 was. And after stating everything, I think I've said just about everything I needed to say for this video. So I hope all of you watching this have a great rest of your winter holidays, and have a happy new year, and we'll see you all in 2026. Man, what good times I'm sure that year will await us. See you all next time in 2026, folks. Catch y'all later.